Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another English lesson here at Study English with Frank. I have a really fun lesson for you today that I think might help you as you talk to native speakers. Have you ever found that when you are talking with an English speaker, that they sometimes misunderstand you when you answer yes to one of their questions? When you say yes, they somehow think that you have just said no. And sometimes when you say no, they may think that you have just said yes. And the reverse can also be true. Sometimes when an English-speaking person says yes or no, it is not always clear what they mean. What if you ask an English-speaking friend, "Do you mind if I borrow your pen?" And they reply, "Yes." Are they saying, "Yes, I mind"? Or are they saying, "Yes, you can borrow my pen"? You might ask an English-speaking friend, "Do you like mangoes?" Your friend might answer, "Yeah, no, they're good." Well, which is it? Yes or no? What's going on? How can there be such a failure to communicate on such a simple phrase as yes or no? Let's find out some of the things that you can do to make sure that you and your English-speaking friends are understanding each other. Let's get started. I first noticed this problem when I started traveling around the world for my work, and I was trying to communicate with people who were using a different language or talking to my translators. Sometimes they were actually saying yes, but I could tell that their meaning was no. Or they were saying no when they were really meaning yes. At first I thought it had something to do with them not really knowing much English, and they were just saying yes to everything I asked, or that they were just trying to be polite to this foreigner guest, saying yes. But then after a few years, I caught on to what was going on. It is just the way some languages form their answers to questions, or answer questions that are formed in a certain way. I found out that it was helpful to just start asking follow-up questions if anyone answered with a simple yes or no. And that's a good idea for you as well. If you want to be sure that you understand your friend correctly, try some follow-up questions to clarify everything. About 11 years ago, I married a woman from Vietnam. Many of you probably know TK because she also teaches English here on YouTube. Her language is one of those that uses a different approach to yes and no than English does. It could have caused some problems, some miscommunications. You know, they say that cross-cultural relationships are more likely to not last very long, and this may be one of the reasons why. Miscommunication over yes and no. Fortunately, because of my travel experience, I was able to understand many of these kinds of potential issues, and we have had a wonderful growing relationship that grows stronger every year. Our children have grown up speaking Vietnamese, and so they have a tendency to form their yes and no like a Vietnamese thinker and speaker. The other day we were driving to take them to play with their friends who live out in the countryside. And they were anxious to get to their friend's house to start the fun and games. But on the way to their friend's house is a chicken farm that sells eggs at a big discount. And so whenever we go out that way, TK likes to stop and get some eggs. So on this day, when we were passing by the chicken farm on our way to their friends, I asked TK, should we stop and get some eggs? And from the back seat, both of our kids shouted, "No!" That was clear. And it was using no in the same way that I use it. They wanted to keep going on to their friend's place and not waste any time at the chicken farm. I replied to my kids with the question, "Don't you want some eggs?" Their quick response was, "Yes," in unison. Well, I took that to mean, yes, they did want some eggs, and I turned the corner to go to the chicken farm. Of course, I got all kinds of protests. What they had meant was, "Yes, Dad, we agree with your statement. We don't want eggs. We just want to keep going to our friends." This can happen a lot, especially if the English speaker frames their question in the negative, like I did. "Don't you want some eggs?" Two girls are in the food court at the mall. The native English speaker asks her friend, "Is Mary not coming to the mall today?" Notice that she framed her question in the negative. Is Mary not coming to the mall today? Her friend from Asia is most likely going to say, yes. The Asian girl believes that she has just told her English friend that Mary is not coming. When she said yes, she was agreeing with the statement that was made. She was saying, yes, she's not coming today. Or, yes, that's right, she is not coming. She may be surprised when her English-speaking friend keeps looking at her watch and looking around for Mary. She might even be more confused when her friend says, I wonder how much longer we should wait for her. When her Asian friend had said yes, the English girl had heard in her mind, yes, she is coming. Let's think about another example. TK and I are at the park. We've been there for a while, and I'm starting to get hungry. I ask her, should we grab a bite to eat at the food stand over there? My wife says no. So far, so good. I know that she doesn't want to eat at the food stand, but I don't know if she doesn't want to eat at all, or she just doesn't want to eat something from the food stand. I ask, so are you not hungry? She says, yes. What she is really saying in her mind is that yes, I'm right. She is not hungry. But if I didn't know about these things, I might very well believe that she has just said, yes, I'm hungry. And I might follow up with, well, should we maybe go to the restaurant around the block? How can we make sure that we are understood? The answer is easy. Simply clarify your yes and no with more details. If the Asian girl had said, yes, I spoke with Mary earlier today, and she said she just can't make it to the mall to be with us. Well, there'd be no confusion or misunderstanding. My kids have now learned to say no when we drive by the chicken farm. We're kind of teaching them to think in English. They're living in Canada now, and when they converse with their friends at school, they need to be able to communicate the way their English-speaking friends are thinking in their mind. And so we're teaching them to think in English. And just to be sure that their dad understands clearly, they are likely to say something like, "No, we don't want to stop for eggs." And when they say that, there's no way that I can misunderstand them. Before, you remember when I asked them, "Don't you want some eggs?" And they said, "Yes." Well, now it's clear. No, we don't want to stop for eggs. There's no chance of misunderstanding. Because they have provided more information, I know for sure what they meant. We usually stop anyway because I know that they like eggs for breakfast a couple times a week. And I like saving money. So we usually stop anyway. The eggs there are about half the price that they are at the store. If you are talking with an English speaker and they just say yes or no to one of your questions, well, if you want to be sure that you understand what they mean, you might have to ask them for some more details. If you ask an English speaker at the airport lounge, "Do you mind if I sit here?" What do you think she means if she answers yes? Is she saying, "Yes, she minds"? Or, "Yes, please sit down"? What if she says no? Is she saying, "No, I don't mind"? Or is she saying, "No, go away"? Sometimes you can tell by body language and facial expression. But if you can't, don't give up and simply walk away. Ask for some more clarification. With a smile, say, "Are you saying, 'Yes, please take the seat'? Or are you saying, 'Yes, you mind if I sit down here'?" Your new friend will probably smile and say, "No, I don't mind at all. Please sit down." Well, that's our lesson for today. You might need to watch it a couple times to be sure that you understand. The main thing that helps to make things clear is to avoid simple yes or no answers. Answer with a complete sentence. If your boss asks you to work another shift this week, you might say no. But he might ask a follow-up question, something like, "Well, don't you want to make some extra money this week?" If you answer by simply saying yes, he might start booking you in for another shift because he's going to think that you have just said, "Yes, I do want to make some extra money this weekend," when you have meant to communicate, "Yes, you are right. I don't want to make any extra money this week." You can see where things can get confusing between people speaking or coming from different languages. Rather than just say yes, try this. Say, "Yes, but I'm busy all this weekend and I will not be able to take another shift. I'm sorry." Now your boss has no chance for misunderstanding. There's no chance for miscommunication to happen. I hope you picked up a few tips in today's lesson. If you have not already done so, I invite you to subscribe to our channel so that you will see our next video lesson that we post. here at Study English with Frank. If you like the video, go ahead and share it with your friends. So long for now. See you. Bye. Farewell.